Hopefully people can hear us okay, see us okay. Apologies about the stream issues. There could be some again, so do prepare for it. Don't get too mad at me, but we are back, and hopefully things go at least a little bit better this time around. It won't go that much better for Spurs. We're going to be suffering through this year one, everybody, but hopefully the stream at least improves. Spurs aren't going to be improving anytime soon, but hopefully the stream maybe improves this time around. It's good so
Hopefully.
far inside the first 10 seconds. That's a good sign, Sean. That's a good sign.
So, just to quickly address, Sean's and Blaine's. So, quickly, Sean, I think, look, if you're looking into it in the media, I think you can draw that conclusion with Lange. But if you look into the 3 windows he's had, he just hasn't demonstrated the ability to be able to bring in anyone of note, anyone over the age of 25 that can come in and make a real impact on this team. Whereas Paratici, even when we didn't have Champions League football, he was able to pull in the likes of Romero, players like this. This guy hasn't demonstrated that ability. So for me, the problem stinks with Johan Lang, and I just think we're in danger of going the same route people did with Steve Hitchen, where you give him all the pass, all of a sudden 400 million in the club's coffers is absolutely wasted. We have no resale value on any of them, and we get ourselves back into the same mess. So I do think it speaks more of Johan Lang's ability rather than the belief in Postecoglou, because they had belief in Postecoglou in the summer. They had belief in him in last January. So, it's nothing to do with belief in the manager. And to be honest with you, even if that is the case this January, you got to take the club into accounts first. We're careering towards a relegation battle, regardless whether they believe in Ange or not. It's absolutely mismanagement on their behalf to not invest in players to try and help the immediate situation right now as well. In terms of Blaine Devlin, I completely agree with what Blaine has had to say. When you look at the goals, there was no reaction by the players. There was no reaction by Postecoglou. Even when we went 1-2-0 down, Postecoglou, it's clear it wasn't working. He didn't change it. So for me, it straight stinks as a guy. We spoke about in the pre-match build-up, Blaine. Stinks of a guy. The minute he makes them changes, he's lost belief in what he's asking them to do. It stinks that the players have lost belief in what they're asking or what he's asking them to do as well. And I think what you're seeing now is it all come to an end. You're absolutely spot on. And then I do think Alaskan Hotspur sent one in as well. That nearly 4. That we just missed on our way out as well. Basically saying Ange has to go, and I think you're spot on at asking, guys, we do apologise. I will get this sorted out for Thursday night, I promise.
Well, we'll figure out a solution of some kind. I will promise that it won't happen nearly as bad as it did this time around for next time. Whether it's a temporary solution or we fix it permanently. Hopefully we fix it permanently, but we will come up with a temporary solution by the time that we do the next stream. So bear with us, everybody. Like Ribsy said, when it rains, it pours. And that's clearly the case too, even with the streaming today. So thank you guys, though. Thanks again for supporting us. It really does mean a lot. Thanks you for following us. All the people that were still looking for the next stream. You guys all rock. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, fair play to everybody. And you know what? Thank you for suffering with us, My dad put in a comment, he was like, it's Levy messing with your stream. He's speaking too much truth bombs.
And even someone said, guys, don't let Ange manage the stream. I think that's what also might have happened here.
Oh, do you know what it is? I think Tottenham are careering me to a future of needing anger management. Well, Richarlison did come on at half-time. I presume that's for Radu Dragusin and that we've gone to a back 4, yeah.
Jack, did you say you didn't like Terzic? I didn't say I didn't like him. I just don't think he's the right choice for Spurs, personally. I just think that the reason he was successful, Sean, is because he's like a club fan of Dortmund. And when he was brought in, Dortmund were kind of, as they still are, in a bit of a crisis. And they kind of needed somebody like that could sort of inspire the fan base, inspire the players, give them that sense of belonging, that sense of pride.
Was he in charge on their run to the Champions League final?
Yeah, and remember they had
shit. Spurs fans will not tolerate that.
No, that's what I mean. It's more like, it's kind of like folk, kind of like club. It's like he's sort of a folk manager, if you call it, Dave. You know what I mean? Like a guy that just sort of manages. He's a better Ryan Mason for Dortmund. That would be the way that I'd put it. A better Ryan Mason for Dortmund.
Fans won't tolerate that level, that style of football. They just won't.
I knew I'd be hitting the booze at halftime, says DJ AK.
I don't blame you, man. I do not blame you. To be honest, I just want to... I want to get this over and done with. I want to go and try and have a nice roast dinner on a Sunday and relax and just sort of try and forget about football. But the
I don't think
reality
it's
is,
gonna happen.
I just have a feeling we're going to sack hands today, and I'll be back doing another stream later on.
Yeah. Kerry King, good to see you, Kerry.
Oh, big up, Kerry. Great county in Ireland, by the way. Kerry is.
Ribsy85 saying these things happen, guys. We're not expecting BBC coverage. We know we're watching a small operation.
No, but it's, the last couple of games has been a bit more frequent, so it's clear. It's evident, that, I need to get it sorted out. I think getting rid of my mic box will probably aid the situation a lot better. So I'll get that done over the next 2 days, guys.
I don't think we're Dave out, though, yet, Ribsy. I don't think we're at that stage.
Trust me, it's probably as, ruining
out.
the streams is probably as bad as Andrew Postecoglou managing today. So, I wouldn't be surprised if people are getting to that point. I'm sort of getting sick of myself at this rate as well.
Something will be thrown out, Ribsy. Something will be thrown out. Something's got to go. Something's got to go. I cannot believe I'm still sober, says Drew. Maybe at this stage, right? It's just, it is, lubricating. It is intoxicating watching this, Drew.
I wonder how many people...
killing. It's brain cell killing.
I wonder how many people, just after pouring a bowl of cornflakes, went to the fridge for milk, seen we went 1-0 down and said, no, fuck that, pour the whiskey on it.
David Granola, good to have you with us. Apologies about the stream issues, man.
We still can't create anything going forward, and everything have sat back off us. We are so bad.
DB, good to see you with us, DB. Again, apologies about the stream issues.
Fuck me, finally a bit of skill, and we still can't cross the ball. We still can't cross the ball! Shit! We're so shit! Holy shit! Oh, watch Azerbaijani players beat this O'Brien guy up. We can't even get the ball by him.
Drizilla offering his emergency services in case you need them for later, Dave.
Yeah, no problem at all, Drew. 100%. Look, I think what I'd probably
stream
do
services.
Yeah, it's just, I just have a feeling. I don't want to be back, to be honest. I'll be brutally honest. I just want to go have my Sunday roast, go and cry to my girlfriend, let her cuddle me, tell me everything's going to be okay, give me a few kisses on the forehead, and rock me to sleep at this point. That's all I want. I'm done. I'm just done with football at this point. And ideally, I'm not going to be in the best of mood to do it later on, but I just feel like it's going to have to happen. This club, I think, they sacked Pochettino at like 11 o'clock at night or something, didn't they?
Yeah. And then also as well, SOF, thank you, SOF, for hopping in. Apologies about the issues from earlier. Dan Coys, apologies about the issues from earlier. Good to see you with us, though. He's saying, missed the Spurs flag in the background, Davo. He likes the old school.
The old school. Old school, yeah. Do you know what? I've got a lot of Spurs merch. Dave. Do you know what? I just don't throw anything out. Like, everything I just... Like I said before, I'm a bit of a loser, like any bit of Spurs stuff I get, it's my pride and joy, so I've got a lot of Spurs merch there that I've collected over the years. I just don't throw it out, and I always, maintain it in good condition, and then, the likes of, Moondog's being very good to me, clock, couple of cups, and, my Harry Kane plaque and stuff like that, my Robbie Keane coaster and that is, so I've got a lot of stuff. I'm just waiting to get, basically the thing is, right, I live in a tiny apartment here in Ireland, a tiny apartment, and you just don't have a lot of room. So I'm just trying to make the best of what I've got. And, eventually I'm going to look to get rid of the green screen behind me because it's just basically covering up what's behind me. You know what I mean? So eventually look to get rid of that. I'm thinking what I could do on the cheap is get in, like them boards in school that they used to use to separate a classroom or something like that. I forget what they're called now. But get one of them, and then I can start putting my merch, my Spurs stuff on that, and maybe create a bit of a different background. Maybe that's the plan going forward because, this shit's doing my head in. This Tottenham thing right now, the whole Tottenham is doing my head in. And funny enough, I've actually got every jersey that I've ever been bought by my parents growing up as a kid all the way through to now. I've got every single jersey. I've got some collection of jerseys.
Herbie Hurts Feelings, good to see you. Min Chi saying, I'm going back to sleep. F this. Don't blame you, Min.
Herbie, change the name to Spurs Hurt Feelings, my man.
Spursy hurts my feelings.
Aiden
Njai.
Forsyth. Oh, go on, sorry, Jack.
No, they're Everton are about to score a fourth, Dave. Don't bother. Don't worry about me.
Oh,
Sorry, what were you about to say?
Sorry, Aiden Forsyth says, can't remember the last time we weren't in such a bad place. Well, we were in such a bad place. One day Ramos, wasn't it? And ironically enough, actually, which again, going to talk about on Tuesday, we won the cup. Then the next season we were in a relegation fight, and everyone was like, why? Oh, it's him. They sold Berbatov and Keane in one summer, the two main source of goals. Then we end up doing that. Harry Redknapp came in, and what ended up doing? He ended up bringing Robbie Keane back into January, if anyone remembers, which then helped us stave off that fight. So even if you do change manager, we still have to go and get a forward player of note, because our two forward players that were the main source and supply of goals, by the way, as well, are no longer, one's gone and one's in complete decline. So there is direct sort of comparisons in that regard if you want to look into it. And I still think, we need to get something done this January like we done all them years ago with Harry Redknapp. Larandellis says, Dave, you're perfect. Look, I don't know about that. I really don't know about that, my man. Appreciate it, though. Look, I'll take it. Take all the love I can get. Spurs ain't showing me any. Still 3-0 down. Still haven't really created anything going forward. Kinski. On to Davies. Come on, Ben, run forward. Look at that. I've never seen him run so quick. On to Sonny. Oh, my Lord. He just doesn't know where the fucking ball is. Please.
And he gives it away.
It's the same with Pedro Porro. At what point does Son become counterproductive?
Feels like half of the players that we have in the team right now are counterproductive.
Yeah. To everything we're trying to do.
Oh,
James. My God, Madison. No, James. You
drunk.
know it's bad. You know it's bad when Jack is starting to address the players by the first name. You know it's bad. That's how bad it is. Jack's even starting to address them by the first names. He's disgusting.
What's his middle name?
Laugh, you cry.
Give him the full name. What's his middle name? James Earl Madison. What's his full name?
Under the bus. Throw Tottenham and Postecoglou under the bus. Oh, Kerry King, we can all cry.
I need the full name of every player. I need the full name of every player.
We need a sponsorship by Kleenex at this time. Tissue companies are missing their market right now. Do you know what it is? It's that bad. I don't even know what's wrong and right anymore. It's sort of, everything's just convoluting each other, Jack. It's just all coming into one. I don't even know what's right and wrong anymore when it comes to football.
I'd strike a deal with Everton right now. How about we just end the game here?
I agree. I would. Who would have ever thought we would be 3-0 down on lunchtime on Sunday? Oh, my God.
Even some of the biggest of cynics. Even some of the biggest of cynics, Even people who desperately wanted Ange to go. I mean, come on. Like, even jokingly, they probably would have. They only would have joked that we'd be.
Yeah. Well, they were reasonable. They said 2-1, not 3-0.
Well, that's the other thing with Ange, Dave, is just, again, the manner of the defeats.
The
manner 100%. Of them. Like, the majority of his, people will say, oh, we only lost by X margin, It's like, there are plenty of times when he has been absolutely railroaded by a side. And that's more the case last season. I think that was more the case, that we would just get railroaded. But this feels like last year, if not worse. And Kinski, man, he is not doing himself any favors. It's not like that was a good back pass either.
Everyone knows my opinion, I'm not naive to know when it's coming to an end and when we need a change. But everyone also understands that for me, the manager is the last person that should take the smallest piece of the blame at Tottenham Hotspur. There's much more problems that we create and that have been at Tottenham a long time before Postecoglou even touched the club. But he's just not doing anything to help the situation. You know what I mean? And it's not getting any better. And it is getting to the point where he just has to go. The players are out of ideas. They're out of fight. They're out of belief. And we're just heading in the one direction. It's shocking. We are so bad. But the argument that loses me is when they start bringing up XG to defend them. It's like, look, I'm all for, hearing people out and explanations and stuff. But when the XG comes in, I'm like, right, I'm out. Nick from Vern says murked by Everton. Yeah. Do you know what? Do you know when it gets bad? Do you know when you're sitting there playing FIFA or something to get away from it, and you're playing against someone, and I play with the Tottenham kits and all that sort of stuff. Same with the pro clubs. They even message you. They go out their way, even if you've bet them, they even go out their way to go.
Sir,
you may have won, but Spurs are shit. That's how embarrassing it's getting. You can't even play a bit of FIFA in the evening and relax without people messaging you, going, "Oh, Spurs are shit," even though you bet them 5-0. That's how bad it's getting. The darts, everyone at Ali Pally, Spurs get battered everywhere they go. We're just a laughing stock. Ref, at what point are you going to blow this whistle? He's had ample opportunity.
I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break, but hopefully I'm about to watch from the sidelines, but hopefully Dave's microphone or anything doesn't go or anything like that. If it does, I'll be quickly back. I just need to take a quick bathroom break, everybody. I'm probably not going to be missing much. To
be honest, I think for the next 5 minutes, I'll just go and speak to the chat and not even watch the game.
Okay. Well,
I think watching you on the toilet would be more entertaining at this point.
hopefully, though, that the stream goes okay. So everybody, keep Dave company for me, please.
Oh, Leighton Evelyn says, got to be sacked by the morning. I think 100% it's coming. I think it's very hard. Even Daniel Levy can't ignore this one. King Hodden says we've been murdered by injuries, absolutely murdered. And look, 100%, you're absolutely spot on. You have to take that in as a factor as well. Oh, Shawnee Maddox says, Dave, don't let him go. It's a ploy. Jack won't be back. To be honest, I actually wouldn't blame him, and I actually wouldn't even be pissed off with him. If, I just, because I just continue on. I wouldn't be annoyed if, he didn't come back and then I was like, well, he hasn't texted me. And then after the game, 2 hours later, he's just gone, do you know what, Dave? I just couldn't do it. I just genuinely couldn't do it. I'd say, do you know what, Jack? I understand. I understand that you're pissed off. I'd probably even consider doing the same, to be quite frank. I do not blame him, Shawnee. We're so shit. Even Madison turns on the breakaway here and we still can't play the right passing. Oh, it kills me when I see Everton players who have scored 15 goals all season before today playing them balls. It kills me when Tottenham players can't do it. It kills me inside. A little bit inside of me dies every time that happens. Kulu now under pressure by 2 players, no support. Oh, Skunkworks, regardless of what people want, Ange won't get sacked. Skunkworks, why? Let me know. What's your reasoning behind it, buddy? Ed M says it's going to be an awkward bus ride home to London. That's if they let Ange on the bus. If I'm Ange Postecoglou, to be honest with you, I'm saying to Daniel Levy, look, sack me all you want, but at least give me the bus to go home and make them get the train home. In fact, don't even make them hitchhike home. Or, even better, send them on the train home with the Spurs fans. Let the Spurs fans give them a piece of their mind. Oh, we're so crap going forward. It's getting to the point where I just lost all. I can't even generate or muster any support anymore. It's just like I watch us going forward. It's like, oh, there's 2 passes, thank God. And then the third time we give it away, and I'm just like, oh, so resigned to defeat, to being beaten now. Guys, help me out. What's Rooty Toot saying? DB just says 100% Rooty Toot. Spot on. Let me see what the root is saying. The root cause. Says, watch all the injured players miraculously recover when Ange is sacked. Look, if that is the case, but then I would still argue it's still nowhere near good enough. Like you're willing to sacrifice Tottenham Hotspur as a club all the way to the relegation battle before you pull your finger out. I'd still say, look, I ain't giving them a free pass, because if they can do it they'll do it any time they want, and they think they can just take the piss. But what just doesn't add up to me, guys and girls and ladies, gentlemen, cats, dogs, we're all inclusive. I don't discriminate. What doesn't add up to me though, guys, is they came out and said this January, we want to keep Postecoglou in the job. We want to send a message to the players that you can't just not perform for a manager, and we want to put the right people in place around them. Okay, where's the signings then in January transfer window? We signed one player. So it's just sort of like even the board are wish-washy on their messages. It's like they're telling us one thing, but not following through on it. It's just Tottenham Hotspur as a club. Everton building more. Do you know what? Everton are more exciting going forward. O'Brien whips in a great ball. Good defending there from Archie Gray. Jed Spence picks it up. You don't have all day, wins a free kick. 70 minutes in. Let me check the stats. Have we even had a shot on goal today? How many shots? 4 shots. 4 shots against Everton. 4. Oh, if you don't laugh, you're going to cry. Holy shit. This is a team that shit goes. Richarlison takes it down. Just kind of story of our season, that. And I don't even blame Richie. It's just a story of our season. You get into a promising position and all of a sudden the touch is so heavy. The pass is off. It's under hit, over hit. Now Mikey Moore's coming on. Did I just see a Jai going up there to warm up? That's interesting if that's the case. It means Postecoglou's lost the plot altogether. At least I do hope that Mikey Moore can give me some little bit of excitement. Anyway, that'd be interesting. I like that kid. Well done, Ben Davies. Good win. No one picking up the second ball. Bergvall not even getting out to close him down there. This is a team that is so done. Management and team are so done together. Kulu. Inside to Madison, who just goes for a shit ball. Doesn't even make its target. Now Son picks it up. Onto Bergvall. Bergvall onto Madison. Who can he find? Passes sideways to Bergvall. Onto Spence. No one moving around looking for the ball. Spence goes on the outside. Beats his man. Pulls it back. Took off the toes. Falls to James Madison and he absolutely scuffs it. Oh. How's he not hitting the target there? Oh, Drew Zilla says, Dave, they're going to look so bad getting North London Derby today when they said Friday they were backing him and changing approach due to understanding players letting him down. Is Levy going to pull the plug? I think, look, I'll be brutally honest, Drew, I think he's got no option. I think he's got no option off today. Even Ray Charles, even a blind man right now can see that, they're just not playing for him. They're just not playing for him. They've lost belief in what he's done. He's lost it. That's why he's changed to a back 5. I think it stinks of no one even knows how to get out of this between them. I think it just needs fresh ideas. I think it just needs something different, Drew. I think they have no choice off the back of this. This is woeful. This is even worse than the North London Derby. This is probably worse than Tamworth. But big up, Drew. I think I've missed a couple of comments. I'm going to go back up here, guys. But look, that's what I don't make sense. Like, even after that Liverpool game in the semi-final where I beat them 1-0, Postecoglou sort of alluded to, get ready, there'd be a striker in here in the next couple of days. And then it didn't happen. And then he said the same thing this window as well. And, he says, oh, wait, over the next coming week, it's coming. And it was sort of like, well, not if we don't win this, it's not. Richarlison just goes by his head there, unlucky, looking for a penalty, never going to be given. Sebastian says, IrishHotspur are working way too hard. Take all the deals you can get. Doesn't matter whether it's ethical or not, we'll understand. Look, I'm not one of them. I'm not going to try and sell you shit, We get plenty of offers and stuff like that, but we'll only sort of bring you the products that we think are beneficial to you to a certain degree, you know what I mean? Trying to find Blaine sent in a super chat, says, boys, I called 8 or Q7, sorry, says, boys, I called. Why can't I bring it up on screen? I'll wait for Jack to come back, Q7, and we'll get on that, my man. Just bear with. Actually, no, I'll just go with it now. The game shit. Q7 says, boys are called 8th or 7th on your show pre-season prediction times. With these mediocre players, injuries, and no backing aside, Andrew's not managed the situation well enough, and it's annoying as I like him. And look, this is the thing, Q7. You know, I think many people sort of tried to give him an opportunity, tried to give him a chance, you know. You hear some of the stuff he says in the press conference, people love, but it's getting to the point now where they're hating it. You know what I mean? When he first came in, it was fresh, it was new, everyone loved it. But now it's getting to the point where everything he says, they don't like. You know, his demeanor on the sideline, they don't like. And if we're not liking it from the outset, are the people that are around him every day liking it? You know, but this is the thing with Tottenham. We have a history of turning managers into something they're not. And this is the huge problem. And I think to a large degree, many people wanted to give it a bit longer than usual because being in this cycle just isn't helping the club. It's not helping the situation. You know, to a degree, I still think you're going to see many of the problems once he goes, to be quite frank. But we do need something fresh to try and get a new manager bounce. So try and do something. Here we are breaking forward, though. 1 second, Q7. Sonny with a ball in behind for James Maddison. Takes it around Pickford. Still takes it around him. Back to Mikey Moore. Oh, he should have passed it. Kulu. Oh, what a goal from Kulu. 3-1. What a finish from Kulusevski. It's absolutely beautiful. What a goal. But the reality is, Q7, you're absolutely spot on. We just had... What worries me, and it really dawned on me when I was putting together questions for the pre-match build-up, and we didn't really get to touch on it today because we're having such fascinating conversations about other things, but you know, he keeps mentioning the long term. He came out and said something a while ago about the long-term benefits of Gray and Bergvall, and he'd be angry if someone else got to reap the benefits. And it's sort of like, yeah, but what are you doing now? It's all well and good sitting here planning for the long term, but what about the immediate right now? We need results, you know, and it's sort of... I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a shame because, look, I really like what he's done at Celtic. You know, I think he was a brilliant manager there. You know, I've gone back. I've revisionized what he's done at Australia and all that sort of shit. And genuinely, a lot of people that work with him absolutely love him. And to be honest, I even think he might go on from Tottenham Hotspur and surprise a lot of people. But the reality is it's not working. We just need fresh ideas, Q7.
Kulu got a goal just as I walk in. Maybe I'm a good luck charm all of a sudden.
It was a great finish.
Jack ain't coming back. No, I definitely wasn't. I was taking my time.
I was saying I wouldn't mind if you just skipped out and said, you know, didn't text me to like later on tonight and said, look, Dave, I just couldn't do it. No, Steve says that was our first attempt in 40 minutes. I mean, look, we're disgraceful going forward. I've tried to highlight it for some time about our forward line. We are absolutely disgraceful going forward. We are lack out of ideas. Quality of the players just aren't good enough either. Bergvall to Maddison. Good ball into Sonny. No one there.
Good idea, actually, from him. I saw a hilarious tweet, which I tried to copy and steal and put in the chat. Dave tweeted, basically, just above it, though, Sonny, good opportunity. Mikey Moore, good clip. Someone tweeted Dave, hi, at Just Stop Oil. Hope all is well. Are you in Goodison Park area at all, please? It's become pretty urgent.
Yeah, he's getting to that point. You know, it is. Just Stop Oil. Where are they when you need them? I berate them at the best of times, but we need them today. They do have their purpose.
It's an amazing tweet. It's amazing if that person is at the game as well, if they are in the away end and they've tweeted that. That'd be amazing.
I'm actually more amazed at their ability to take themselves away from the anger and come up with such a funny tweet, to be honest.
Spurs fans are the best in these situations, to be fair.
Oh, please, just get it over and done with. Like, this is another thing. I'm sick of the false thorns as well. The false goal, give you hope. I'm just not buying into it. We're done. We're cooked.
Taxi for one, says Danny Darko.
Are you going to make him more? Do something? Unlucky.
I think we all need, every single away fan needs their own individual taxi out of the stadium. And it needs to be paid for by Daniel Levy.
just got back from a drink. They were showing a replay of the goal. I thought it was 4-1 there for a minute. I was like, I'm not even surprised. "10 minutes of pay left, everyone. 10 minutes in the torture chamber, and then we'll let you free." Spence moves it on to Mikey. That's a free, ref. He's absolutely murked him. Are you shitting me? He's put the ball between his legs and he's still come out.
Also, I would say, word of advice to anybody, if you come across any Arsenal fans or just anybody trying to give you a hard time with Spurs, just sort of do what happened to us today. Just say, what's having mic issues, guys. By the way, just can't really talk about it at the moment. So just say that you're having mic issues just in real life and that you can't talk about Spurs. That's my word of advice. Get yourself as far away. Get yourself as far removed. Go on a nice hike. Go up in the mountains. Go up in the mountains, turn off your phone, turn off the Twitter feed.
You'll still find one. You'll probably go up to the top of the mountain and some smart fucker has probably carved a rock saying Spursy on it or something. You know what I mean? It's out there, Jack. You just can't escape it. Oh, now he wants to put the flag up. Now you want to put the flag up.
Some people pay a fortune for this kind of pain.
That's sadistic mind, that is.
Yeah, no, we're all masochists.
Oh, do you know what? Fair play to you guys. You do provide me with a bit of relief amongst my anger.
Sorry, my house is going through a tunnel. I can't talk about Spurs right now. Exactly. My house is in an elevator.
Anyone reads you, sorry, just go through a tunnel right now. Signal drop.
Going through a tunnel for the next week.
Or just answer, be like, hello. Sorry, I can't hear you.
I'm working from home, but it's in a tunnel for the next week. I'm working from home, but it's going to be inside an elevator.
I'm on a deserted island with a ball called Wilson.
Yeah, exactly. Sean Maddox saying it's going to be a holiday tomorrow. I will not be interacting with humans.
I might just tell my Liverpool friends and that waiting to pounce. I might just say, look, I'm going travelling for the year. I'll see you next year.
Yeah, Dave all of a sudden fakes a trip.
All of a sudden, a cultured man.
Fake a trip to India, Dave. An explorational journey to India. Photoshop some tickets.
Mikey Moore. Puts it across. Richie!
Oh, the first shot looked like it would have gone in, but it was a good block. The first shot was actually not a bad effort. Mikey Moore just doing more havoc on the wing in his first cross than we get from most players in multiple games.
He does more than Judson.
Does more than any of our wingers does. And Richie left Everton to come to Spurs. I'm also laughing at that right now as well, that Richarlison, I mean, it's his own fault. He's been injured, the entirety of this time. But it's, you do laugh at the fact that he has come back here only to get spanked.
Well, he's another one to my relegation list. He signed him from a team against Everton, fighting relegation all the time. Nothing against, I like Richie as a human being and stuff like that, but you got to look into the amount of signings we've pulled from relegation clubs to be our forward line, and then we're wondering why we're suddenly being beaten by these teams. They're taking our money and improving, and we're sitting there with their shit.
Oh
no. Well done. Archie Gray has had an uncharacteristically very bad game today.
Well, maybe he was...
I'm not even going to go after.
I think he was set up to fail, though. I think he was set up to fail with what he was asked to do tactically. Because there have been times when, in possession, he's standing in this no man's land, in possession, where he's being asked to sort of step out of the back line. He's not being asked to sort of stand perfectly parallel or anything, with the other center backs, like in a normal back three. He's sort of being asked to push into midfield, but he doesn't seem to know how to do it. because they probably have only worked on it for a few days or something like that, if not at all.
Well, they haven't been working on a back three since he's been here, have they? You know what I mean?
No.
It's definitely just an idea that's come about since the
I think he's been set up to fail. I think he's been set up to fail.
For sure, there's no way they've been working on that. That's been something that's been set up since the North London Derby. And if I'm correct, I think, the couple of days of training has not been intense whatsoever. It's been players coming in and doing recovery and stuff. So have they even worked on it at all?
He's been playing just this weird, except for now, when they've made a slight, since Dragishin has come out, but he's just been playing from the get-go this weird sort of hybrid position that just doesn't make much sense to me. Maybe it would if it was actually something that we see on a more regular basis and something you actually see them try to work on. But this is, again, just so out of the blue and out of the ordinary. Drew Zilla saying, Jack and Dave, Arsenal got worse problems than us. They're miles ahead of us and no closer to winning a trophy. Well, there's always a worse club. There's always a worse off club. But at this moment, Drew,
probably argue we're closer to winning the trophy than them. I think that's a fair point. We're in a Carabao Cup semi-final with the ascendancy, but playing like this, we certainly ain't going to win. Oh, for fuck, Jesus Christ! Do you know what, Jack? Sometimes I just wish my eyes lied to me. Why do I have to watch this? Oh God.
Oh, God.
Oh, Nomad says can't wait for Andrew interview. That's even if they let him do one. They might call him up there to sack him before he even gets the chance.
Yeah.
You think Daniel Levy's going to risk an explosive walkout like that? I'm not quite so sure. But it will be interesting if he does do it, what the anger levels are like. Who does he end up calling out? Does he go for fans? If he does, if the anger's directed towards fans, he's gone. If he directs it towards the squad, he's lost them. If he hasn't already, he's gone. If he directs it towards the board, he's gone. I think, to be honest, he's better off just walking in there and just walking straight back out, in one door and out the other. Yeah. No one wants to hear it. No one wants to hear the excuses. No one here wants to hear what's gone wrong. Everyone's just lost belief. They just want change now.
Oh, Spence.
You saucy
what
little
play?
Individual.
Oh.
Lucky. It was well cut out.
Imagine if he was on that right side.
Tuchel's got to pick him for England. He has to pick him from England. That's why he's been at our last 3-4 games. George Carlos' last 20 odd minutes of handball. This is far from handball.
It's not who we are, mate.
King Hoddle says, tell you what does actually sadden me. How will this Rubble actually win a cup? No.
I've heard that argument from people as well, which I do listen to, which is like everyone's also just holding on to the belief that somehow like things are just going to turn around and we're going to be able to win the cup. And it's like, I sort of retain that belief, but I wouldn't blame someone for kind of looking at me and thinking I'm a bit crazy.
The only hope you have is a new manager with a new manager bounce. It's the only hope you have.
Well, now that you keep watching more and more of this draws, for sure, but maybe a few weeks ago, I would have believed that, we get the injuries, limited, we get players back. Surely this will turn around, but then you're just kind of every week it's just gotten worse and worse. Like each week it's just gotten worse and worse that you have to keep changing, you keep feeling like you have to, in a way, sort of face the music,
But the thing is, we're not even gaining anyone back ever, As soon as we get players back, one more is gone than what we get back. We got 2 back and now 3 or 4 are gone. It's getting worse.
That's the other thing too. That's the other thing. All the injuries and then them just continuing to happen and even more and more. Like Dave said, though, only a few more minutes of torture for you guys, and we will be covering all this in the best way that we can, however this unfolds. Big debate show, big panel show on Tuesday, by the way, everybody. Fan show tomorrow.
Is that holiday over there in America for you, Jack?
It's in a sense, yes.
I'll take the fan show if you want. You can have the evening off.
Well, it might
It's
be
up
a
to you.
spicy one. Might be a spicy one for you, Dave. So we'll figure that out. But 4 minutes of added time, Payne. Sorry about that. Yeah,
Please
correction.
just end this.
But
Please just end the pain.
fan
No
cams,
more
I'll
stoppage.
upload those for you guys. To be honest, like Twitter reacts, maybe we'll probably do one, but it won't be that positive. You might not be the most happy clappy
We're just
one.
going to be reacting to everyone saying Ange out in 20 odd different ways.
So there's that. Kulusevski into Sonny. Mikey Moore.
Let's pretend we scored a goal. Let's pretend we scored a fucking goal.
Actually, good little play there for once from Spurs. Mikey Moore again, just being havoc. Richarlison!
I'm not getting up for the comeback. I'm not getting up for it. It's not happening.
And he's injured himself again. Richarlison.
Get up, Richarlison. There's 3 minutes left. Good return, though, from Richie. Mikey Moore with the assist. Beautiful ball.
Dime of a ball. Whoever did play that. Please don't.
Well done, Moore. What a ball by Mikey Moore.
Please don't.
It's an unbelievable ball from Mikey Moore. Look at that. That is sexy.
Beautiful anticipation from Richie. That's a beautiful ball, Dave. It's on a dime.
There's no way, is there? There's no way. Surely not. It's not happening.
Can't happen.
It's not happening. There's no way. Surely not.
Can't happen.
Now we need more injury time. Give me 10 minutes.
What a great way to cover up the score. Another 1-goal loss. Only another 1-goal loss.
No, stop.
That's what people say.
Go on, Spence.
Spence.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on, Spence.
Find Richie.
No, don't lose it.
Come on, Jedi.
Well done, Jed. Good ball.
Pedro. Out wide to Kulu. We got to get in the box, man.
No, not back to him there, Bergvall.
You just got to get it into the box. You just got to get it into the box.
Get it down this left side. Spence has been looking dangerous.
You literally have 1 minute. Good ball, Mikey.
Good ball by Mikey Moore. Davies, can he keep it in? Gets it across. It's cut out. Mikey Moore picks it back up. Looks to go on the outside. He's carving them open here. Brilliant ball back to Spence. Go on, Spence. Spence delivers it. Kulu! Oh, it's just cleared. Porro picks it up. Get it in there, Pedro.
Well done.
Good pull back to Sonny. On to Kulu. Kulu to Madison. Madison goes for glory, you selfish little shitbag.
He couldn't make his mind up, or I don't even know what he was doing there. Damn. That's it.
Oh, what is Madison doing shooting there, by the way?
Do you think he was shooting? It looked like he didn't do either. It looked like he didn't shoot or play a pass. Like he kind of did both, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah,
he just didn't know what he wanted to do. Felt like still before that though, just somebody just needed to get a ball into the box. Again, it didn't need all that intricate little play. We just didn't need that. Like, look how we scored the goal there. Just someone cut inside.
This is what we've been saying, Jack, all along. Just put crosses in the fucking box. We've been saying this for months now.
We didn't need to do like little intricate 1-2s in the middle of the pitch there. We've been trying that for 90 minutes and we're shit at it. So there's no point in trying it in the last, I don't know. What's the point of even ranting about this team? They're terrible anyway. Yeah. So what's the point of getting more frustrated? Well, everyone, it looks like it's about to end off here.
Thank God. It won't let me sign into Twitter.
And it has done. And probably a dead man walking.
Yeah.
And we will watch this space. I don't really know what to say anymore. It's been another frustrating day. It's been frustrating as well, to watch this game. We also had the microphone issues, which sucked for you guys, sucked for us as well, because it was kind of in the middle of us, trying to make sense of it all, trying to answer your guys' frustration. Just not a Not another good day as a Tottenham Hotspur fan, Dave. And it just feels like for a while now we didn't know how many more the fan base can take. It's been tough with all the injuries. I think a lot of people like ourselves have had a lot of patience for Ange Postecoglou, have given the guy a lot of time, given him a lot of explanations, excuses, whatever you want to call it. But it's starting to become untenable at this stage. It feels untenable at this stage. Just too many losses, too many bad defeats as well. And we just look terrible. That's the other thing. We're just looking worse and worse and worse. Probably a lot of it has to do with tiredness. A lot of it does have to do with injuries. A lot of it also just has to do with players just maybe not being good enough. But I mean, it's just, am I right? Just becoming untenable at this point.
Well, 100% it's becoming untenable, Jack. You look at it, we went into that Palace game. They hadn't won a game all season. We let them win. They're now ahead of us on 27 points. We're sitting in 15 on 24. Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton, they're all in the relegation zone on 16 points. You'd like to think, a new manager or whoever takes over or whatever, that we're going to have enough just to stave it off. However, in the league, it is only heading one way, Jack. And you got to look. Don't get me wrong. There's factors that have got us to this point that are out of Ange Postecoglou's control, like Johan Lang, the lack of signings, stuff like that, the lack of squad preparation going into season where you're doubling the workload, the travel, etc. So much has gone wrong on that side, which they will be spoke about once Ange Postecoglou leaves. The decline of the club since Harry Kane's left and the failure to replace someone or get someone in here on his level to help him out. There's so many ulterior factors, but the reality is in the league, we are just dropping points left, right and centre. And it doesn't matter who we come up against. We're coming up against teams below us that are in relegation form. We've been beaten. You look at the bottom three of the Premier League right now. We drew with Leicester. We were beaten by Ipswich Town. We drew at Wolves and we were beaten by Everton, or were beaten by Wolves, one or two. They're all the teams below us and they've all bet us. It's absolutely concerning. It is very, very concerning. And I just think it's hard for Daniel Levy to avoid the noise. He can come out and say, look, we're going to give him the fate, we're going to get signings in. But the reality is you haven't backed it up in this January either. So it then begs the question, do you have as much faith as you're putting out there, or are you just doing this as a vote of confidence to try and get him through the next couple of games and stuff like that? We keep hearing, when we get, from Postecoglou, when we get the injuries back. But we're not getting them back. We get 2 back, we lose 4. In the space of a week, we've lost Timo Werner, Bissouma, Brennan Johnson, and Dom Solanke, and all we've regained is Richarlison and Ben Davies. So the reality is, we can sit here and keep saying, when the injuries get back, they're not coming back. We are in the mire right now, and regardless of manager, this board need to act fast this January transfer window. You go back to the last time we were in this position, they acted in October. They sacked Juande Ramos, they bought in Harry Redknapp, but in that January, they went and had a good January. In that summer, under Wanda Ramos, they sold Robbie Keane and Dimitar Berbatov. It led us into a relegation battle. Harry Redknapp in the January bought Robbie Keane back here. We need forward players in this door in January because we need to be able to score goals. Our defence is what it is. It's going to concede goals when it's patchwork the way it is. But we need to outscore teams. Even with the new manager coming in, we need to outscore teams. So they have to, whether they like it or not, go and find some serious money and go and lay it down on a forward player, because going forward, we are out of ideas. I'm sick of this late in game when the other team's done, 3 points are dusted. We look like we're staving a comeback. It's all fake. And lastly, them players need to take a fucking long, hard look at themselves. There's a few exceptions, the likes of Bergvall, Gray, Spence, Kulusevski. There's a few exceptions. The likes of Son needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror. Is it that he's just lost his love for the game at Tottenham, or is he over the hill? James Maddison had a falling out with Postecoglou a long time ago. This is the start of the unravelling. Brennan Johnson needs to have a long, hard look at himself in the mirror. We are absolutely turgid. We can't do anything right. We can't even do the basics. We end up passing a lot of the ball across the back line. And let's be honest, the last time we were in this situation was under Conte, under Nuno, under Jose. All the exact same warning signs were there. And unfortunately, even if Postecoglou goes into the press conference today and tries to explain it away, fans don't want to hear it. They're just like, it's excuses. Anything the players coming out in the post-match press conferences, fans don't want to hear it. Excuses. Anything Levy's coming out and saying, fans don't want to hear it. When are the club going to realise we just want to see action from everybody inside the club? The owner, the manager, and the players on the pitch. Ange Postecoglou, don't get me wrong, he will be the fall guy for this. But we've still then got the playing squad and the owners as still a massive issue that are still left at this football club after Ange Postecoglou is gone. The reality is we can sit here and have this illusion that things are going to get dramatically better after Ange Postecoglou. We said that when we sacked Jose. We said that when we sacked Conte or Nuno. We said that when we sacked Conte. The reality is we get a manager bounce and then it all falls off the wheels. There's even direct correlations between Postecoglou's and Conte's time at Tottenham. Conte's first season, we ended up finishing fourth. Things were looking good. The second season, it completely fell off. Same with under Ange Postecoglou. We finished fifth last season, but this season, it's completely fell off the wheels. It's not good enough, and people have to recognise, even when Ange Postecoglou's gone, there's still serious issues around Tottenham Hotspur that have to be fixed. He ain't going to be the problem that everybody thinks he is. Is he doing right in this situation right now? No. He's not helping the situation. He's too busy thinking on the long term rather than the immediate. The fact that he changed his formation today means he's going to be sacked. But there's still going to be inherent problems here at Tottenham once he's gone, like the lack of quality, like the lack of replacements of Harry Kane and Son.
100%. I mean, it's just feels untenable with Ange. And after today's just 3-0 down to Everton at halftime, it felt like even, sort of crazy scenario where even, you're looking at a guy that's just a dead man walking at that point. It feels like you almost sack him at halftime at that stage, when you're 3-0 down in that scenario. People even joking, putting Ryan Mason in at that point.
Yeah, it just felt that bad. Probably did sack him at halftime.
It felt that way, it just felt like it's just become just so devoid of any hope. If we've tried to hold on to hope, we've tried to believe in Ange. I think we've been criticized and even mocked for, keeping our faith in Ange, for this long. But it's, as much as I have a lot of explanations and a lot of excuses for him, I do. It's just, you have to face the fact right now that it just feels like something has to change. Something
it needs freshening up, Jack.
Yeah.
It needs fresh ideas. The players,
whether the change even benefits us in the long run is, a different story altogether, but something has to change just for the immediate.
You just need fresh ideas for the immediate, Jack. It's clear out there that when you look at these guys, the press is completely gone, which is a huge facet of Ange Postecoglou's football. There's no real belief in that anymore. Going forward, no one knows where to pass and move. Everything's static. Defensively, we're all over the shop. Midfield is so loose as well. There's holes all over the pitch, and that stinks to me that the coaching staff have maybe lost enthusiasm what they're trying to do and they're not getting it across, or the playing staff have lost the enthusiasm. And either way, it's not good and it's not working, which means it needs fresh ideas, fresh injection, something, just to change. We've all been in jobs, right, where it gets mundane, it gets boring, and sometimes it grates on you. You just need that fresh change. You need something different, and that could be the case here, Jack. Look, it will go some way to alleviating our problems, but it's not going to alleviate the problems to the extent that many people probably think it will by sacking him.
Well, for me, it's just become more when it comes to the cups and when it comes to the competitions that we're still left in. With these performances, more and more and more, I'm losing the hope that we are going to be able to hold on to a lead against Liverpool, or we are going to be able to push on in the Europa League and get past some really decent opposition against some also very clever managers, right? When you go into the latter stages of the Europa League, I'm worried about, how far we'll go into the FA Cup. So the competitions that we're still left in, of course, our Premier League hopes, need to be rescued and need to be saved. That doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon, with the injuries and just with our general form in the Premier League. It's just atrocious. Yeah. But even now, Dave, I'm losing that hope that we'll even do what we said. I believed, with Ange this year that, yes, we'll go deep into a cup this season. We'll probably get to a final of some kind. You never know what happens in a final, but I did believe that we will get to one. I'm really, every passing minute here, I'm losing that faith, that we'll actually see a final under this manager now. It's just, maybe I'm being, again, way too reactionary. Maybe I'm being too emotional. It is early in the morning. It's just loss after loss after loss. And also after doing an experiment like this today, this back three experiment with, again, no real striker. He didn't play Richarlison through the middle, didn't play Lancashire through the middle. I just think, again, that's a mistake. Or he didn't even play Kulu really through the middle. Just felt like, he's out of ideas and just a guy that doesn't seem to know what to do anymore. And I don't blame him. He's had a tough go of things with the injuries and everything this year and just all the various things that have just not gone his way. He's been a very unlucky manager, but I think you if you get what I mean. It's just I'm losing faith that we'll actually do anything in the cups this year, and that was kind of the thing that was a big hope for us, right?
Well, with the performances like we're seeing, it's not just today. It's the North London derby. We showed up with zero intensity, zero passion, lack of creativity. We weren't even up for the game. And Tamworth, by the way, a non-league team. We weren't up for that game. We couldn't even create against them. And I just think when you look at the last three games, it's sort of like I struggle to see where we're going to unearth this unbelievable performance that we're going to need away at Anfield to carry ourselves to a final. I just struggle to see it. This team today, Everton, we slapped them up for nil at the start of the season.
We've just had very few positives in the last few weeks or so. It's just that's the thing.
It's the performances, Jack. There's a lack of fight, out of possession. In possession, there's a complete lack of movement, which shows to me the players just don't care. They're just waiting for Daniel Levy to say, "You're gone, Ange." They're waiting for it, Jack. Tamworth, an easy game. We make it look hard. It's a huge pitch. Move the ball. We make it as difficult as possible. North London derby, no fight, no passion. It's one of the worst performances and one of the worst attitudes I've ever seen a Tottenham team rock up to a North London derby like that. They're usually self-motivating, which shows to me them players are more than happy to use a game like that to throw this guy under the bus.
Gonna get to some of the comments. Going to get to some of the comments here. Druzilla saying we have to be back in Europe next year. If we go back to 41 games, that's a huge step back. Certainly is, Drew. Jerome saying Ange made a big mistake to go with a back five, but tried to rectify it in the second half, but it was too little, too late. Jerome, I think that experiment was why probably Dave and I are starting to really lose faith, and whether Ange can rescue this situation here, because it felt like a desperate move, maybe similar to the Chelsea game, right? He was desperate to try to get a win there, tried to play Van de Ven, tried to play Romero. This feels like something similar where he's been dealt the very bad news with Solanke, and he's thought, you know what, maybe I need to go for something different. I'm going to try to work in Madison into the team. I'm not going to move Gray into the midfield, maybe because he doesn't, for whatever reason, he didn't feel comfortable moving Gray into the midfield. Tried to do some sort of hybrid type of role for him. And then also, I guess, thought maybe by doing three in the back, it would be more defensive. It was the opposite. We actually looked more open, by going for this sort of version of a three in the back. And Dragishin as well got injured again. It was just another really, really bad day for Ange. And said that so many times with him, Jerome. Said that with him so many times.
You know what it is,
another
Jack?
really, really bad day for him.
The sad thing is, I think if we actually would have went with the 4-3-3 at the beginning of the game, we would have won this game.
Exactly.
That's the annoying thing about it.
That's what I think. Yeah, sorry.
The fact that he changed it up, it's concerning in itself, because he sat there in press conferences all along, I'm not changing the way I play. I'm going to keep doing it because the players have to get used to it. It's up to them to play my way. All of a sudden, he switches it up. I struggle to understand that. And do you know what? Even if he just did go with Archie Gray in midfield, I think many Spurs fans would have sat there and, do you know what, Andrew gave us what we wanted today.
Right.
But he didn't do it. And he just makes it harder and harder when he's just not listening. He's not doing what Spurs fans want him to do. And, by doing that, sometimes you give yourself a bit more grace. But he got it all wrong. And, to Jack's point, we had a North London derby midweek. How much time do we really have to work on this to bring it to make this formation that we started with today actually work? We could see within the first 5-10 minutes it wasn't working. Everything was pinning us back in. As soon as we went 1-0 down, but yet he still persisted with it. All he had to do when we went 1-0 down was say, quickly, boys, revert back to what we know. And he allowed it to go to the point with 3-0. Even if he changed it at 2, we don't concede that third. All of a sudden, we come out of this game with a point. You know what I mean? And it's just little things like that, when people have questioned his in-game management and stuff like that, it's like today where it just rings true. He just got it so wrong. But when that happens, it stinks of a guy that doesn't know his ass from his elbow right now. He just doesn't know what right decision to make anymore. He's lost all run of the job at Tottenham Hotspur. He doesn't know what formation to go with. He doesn't know what players to play. He doesn't know what to ask them to do anymore. It stinks of it. You look at the North London derby, we look like 11 strangers out there. It's just the writing is on the wall. And look, I really wanted to work out for Postecoglou. He's yet another manager, whether people like it or not. He's been places he's won. It's yet another manager that's come to Tottenham Hotspur and has fallen at the sword of Daniel Levy at Tottenham Hotspur. It's another one. This can't keep going on regardless, but at the end of the day, it's not working. We can't keep persisting with this. No one wants the club to get relegated. We have to make a change, and it has to happen. I think it will happen. That Hoffenheim game, I just think Daniel Levy might go, do you know what? Worst case scenario, we get the two-legged playoff in February. I've got a week to make my decision, and I do think if it doesn't happen tonight, I think tomorrow morning.
Jerome, that's where I just feel let down by Ange, and that's where I've lost a lot of belief in him after today, is the fact that he did make that change to the back five. Dave and I have been very adamant that we have never wanted that to happen. We want the manager to do the system that they think they believe in, that they believe works. And Ange is by definition that sort of guy. He is that guy. He is the guy that is great comment here from DJ AK, actually. He lives by the sword and he dies by the sword, but then all of a sudden he messes about with it and now he doesn't know what he's doing. He has to go. And that's where I sort of agree with DJ AK, Jerome, where like he's preached that, it's who we are, mate. This is the style, whether you believe in it or not, whether it makes sense to you or not, whether it's difficult to execute or not. It's the type of style I believe in. It's the type of football that's gotten me where I am today, all that sort of stuff. It's what Dave and I have preached. It's what he's preached. And now he's gone against it today. He's gone against it and he's made that change. And I don't think it really was having to do as much with the injuries. I think it does have to do with the guy that's losing kind of his mind. And I don't blame him. This team makes you lose your mind, and the injuries from this season would make you lose your mind. But it just, to me, Dave, it just seems like yeah.
See, Jack,
It just seems like, this is when you do that, you are becoming sadly a hypocrite of what you've preached for so long when people were criticizing you before for not making these types of changes. And we told him, and we've said to everyone, we liked the fact that he didn't concede and make changes like that, but he now has. And it's that's where
and
I
that's
feel
where
let
you lose
down. I
fans
feel
like
let
us,
down.
Jack.
Yeah.
That's where you lose fans like us. And what you're seeing slowly is people starting to turn, by the day. Look, I don't know how much longer this I can take, regardless whether I think Andrew's a good guy, whether I like him or not. It's just not working out. And you're seeing that on a daily basis. But, like, I think he thought maybe making that change today would get them fans behind him that have said, look, this squad, it's suited to a 3 or a 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it. It's suited to that. I think today we've seen it's not suited to anything. They just can't execute anything. It doesn't matter. But when you make changes like that, you're basically showing to the chairman, this is my last roll of the dice. This is it. And the thing is, when I think about it, is there even a way back for Ange Postecoglou? I don't think so. I think that had to start today. You beat Everton, you beat Leicester, you win your 2 Europa League games. All of a sudden, everyone's back behind you. But now that you've lost today, there's no way back.
3-0 down
There's
as
just
well.
no way back, Jack. I don't see how he gets himself out of this. The reality is, winning is what brings believing. If you bring results, that's what brings buy-in. It's hard to buy in when you're not winning games of football. And if we're not buying in, players definitely not buying in, neither are the coaching staff at this point. Everyone, the more you draw and the more you lose games of football, the more and more people get off board with the plan. They say, hang on, wrong guy,
Yeah.
That's what we're seeing. There's just nowhere back for him.
Adrian Chia saying, apologies, lads. Tried hard to change the script. Nothing you can do anymore, Adrian. Nothing you can do. It's in the football god's hands at this stage, and we'll see what happens in the next 24 to 48 hours, sir. We'll see what happens.
I still can't sign into Twitter, Jack. Is there any updates on Twitter about his future?
I'll try to keep an eye on it. I think people in the chat probably would let us know as well. But, I bet there's some good eyes and ears on the ground. I bet there's some good eyes and ears. Sorry that I've signed you out of Twitter, Dave. Apologies about that.
No. Do you know what the thing is? It'll probably just sign me back in. It's weird. We'll get it sorted. Everything's going wrong. Tottenham, our setup, everything.
It's like Ripsy said, when it rains, it pours. To Martin Knightsbridge, Tamworth game showed us where we are really at. See, it's hindsight is the best thing, Martin, but I agree with you, man. Like, I agree with you. I agree with you. Like, Dave was very upset after the Tamworth game and saying this is not a good omen, for the upcoming games. I kind of went against Dave, I think, on that day. I sort of retained some sort of delusional optimism, that I was like, well, maybe we are just shit, but we'll turn it up, against Arsenal. We'll end up putting away the chances because it's a bigger game. Maybe they're preserving themselves. I just gave them a lot of excuses basically for why it would be different. And I think that's actually the opposite is shown to be true. The opposite is shown to be true. The Tamworth game was maybe an omen for what has happened here. Wouldn't you say, Dave? Now, but looking back.
Look,
Sorry if maybe you're
no,
trying
look,
to
I could force. Look, I knew the Tamworth game was such an easy game, Jack. You know, look, even if they put in their commendable effort like they did, you're talking about Premier League players, you know, and there's a reason why they've made it to the top because there's a distinct difference in quality and fitness, etc. And we just were absolutely awful that day. It's like, well, if we're producing this here, and the fact that being scared by being overturned by a National League team isn't enough to get these guys' ass in gear. I struggle to see where the performance is going to come from the North London Derby and afterwards. I really struggle to see, because that Tamworth game, we should never ever been in that predicament. And to a degree, did they let it go on as long as they did before they saved face to try and get Ange Postecoglou sacked, even before the North London Derby? But it's just you can't ignore it. There's nothing going right at the minute. There's no positives. You even look at the youngsters the last few weeks. They've been a bright light, but Gray was awful today. Bergvall to a degree at times. He tried, but wasn't great today. And they were the only shining lights. And I said this during the week to you, Jack. When all of your senior players look god awful the way they do, and your youngsters are the ones that people are praising more so because of their work ethic and stuff like that, it shows that there is a disconnect between the squad and the management. And I think we've seen that on full display today. I think what we've seen today is in the first half, the players were more than happy to let him get sacked. And in the second half, they staved a little bit of a comeback to go, look, we're not the problem. That's what it stinks of me today.
Yeah, no, it does stink. It just does stink, man. Rodney Roberts, fans might like it or not, but Conte was spot on. I mean, I think whether they're Ange in, Ange out, or whatever, I mean, Conte's farewell speech, whatever you want to call what that was, right? His final message, I think, has always rung true with a lot of people, and it's aged quite well. It's aged like a beautiful Italian wine. But I mean, the funny thing about, I think, Conte's speech was, at the time, we were very rattled by it. And I don't think a lot of people liked it. They didn't like to, him sort of calling out the club, calling out sort of the players, calling out the board, that sort of thing. They kind of sort of wanted it to be done by the fans. But, now I think with a bit of time, and some, looking back on it, it feels like, people actually pretty much agree with almost every single word that he had to say. So it is funny how, as time goes on, as things age, as we have more sample size, whatever to look back on, things can age quite well. And I do think Antonio Conte's, whether you liked the guy or not, I think it's aged very, very well. I think it's aged very, very well. If that's what you're referring to, that farewell speech. Ian Cook, member for 35 months as an elite member, 3 years as an elite member. Ian, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Hi, Dave and Jack. Unacceptable to lose to Everton. Where do we go from here? I think Dave and I are sadly talking about the potential end of Ange. That's where we go from here. Ian, and you've probably heard us long enough. I mean, you've tolerated us for 35 months. So thank you so much, man. But we've tried to defend Ange on numerous bases. We've tried to give Ange as much patience, as much backing as possible. I still don't really want to see it happen, but I'm starting to have to take I'm starting to have to go with more my mind than my heart here. And my mind is telling me that it's just become untenable. It's just too many drop points. There's too little positives to look at from these games. We're getting railroaded by Everton 3-0 at halftime. There's nothing really positive going forward, when we're playing. There's no real good attacking play. We look so open at the back. There's no real positives, it feels like. There's no signings that are coming in. Things just have to change, it feels like. And it might have to change with the manager, whether that's even the good. Like I said, I'm not even sure if that's, again, the right thing for the long term. It might have to just happen for the immediacy, of winning games again. And it might sound silly, but we do have to start winning games again. And just a new manager might be the only way to do that for the time being. It's not like it's the answer for the long run, though.
Do you know what, though, Jack? Let's speak about that. who the club going to get. Let's be brutally honest. There's not going to be a queue of good managers that can bridge that gap where we want to go. That are going to be queuing up to take this vacancy. There's not. Let's be brutally honest. We are going to have to go and actively recruit. That then brings me on to Daniel Levy. You look at his last 3 appointments, they've all been out of contract. Jose Mourinho was out of contract, Conte was out of contract, and Postecoglou's contract was up at Celtic. We signed them for nothing. Do we really think Daniel Levy's going to go to another club and play a transfer fee to get a manager out of there? No, he could have done it with Amarim when he was looking at him at Sport and refused to do so. So you're looking around at the market right now. There's not a great deal of options. So I worry. You know, the only option we have is to go and pick a guy the club want and go and buy him out of his current club. But even then, you know, you look at Iriola. Is he going to want to leave Bournemouth to come to Tottenham? Look where they are right now. You know, people say Thomas Frank. Is he going to want to leave Brentford where they do everything that he wants them to do and come to Tottenham? I'm not quite so sure. Then you also have the added problem is the club will bring in a pragmatic manager. Make no mistake about it. When they didn't have the money to fix the backline, they pivoted from Pochettino to Jose Mourinho, Conte and that to mask over the cracks of the defence, to bring in a defensive football, a defensive manager. And the reason why a defensive manager is defensive is because they set up to defend their biggest weakness. Defence was our biggest weakness for years come by. Then all of a sudden, Kane's gone. Son's on the decline. They're bringing an attacking manager because they want to try and paper over the cracks. We're in a situation now where you could bring in a defensive manager, but like Conte, like Jose, and like Nuno, they don't have the Kane and Son to rely on to get them out of the, getting them out of the mire, put the points on the board like they were doing for them guys. You bring in an attacking manager. We don't have the players to play effectively what he wants us to do. The only way out of this is investing big in January and buying a manager out of a football club. But then that brings me on to the director of football. He has failed in 3 windows to deliver any adequate players to come in and improve this situation. None. Dragusin and Werner last December when we had Son away, we had Papa Matasar away, we had Basuma away, along with our injury list. That's what he brought in to alleviate the situation. Then in the summer, we needed a proper striker. We needed another creative player. We needed wingers. We needed a left back. We needed a left-sided centre-back. And we done nothing. We brought in a couple of kids and Dom Solanke. Now this January, we needed 4 players. Again, we needed another defender, left-back sided in here, another winger. And do you know what they're going to do? Bring in a goalkeeper. So we don't even have the director of football that can get the deals done for us. We are in an alarming situation at Tottenham Hotspur right now. It doesn't matter what way you pivot, it takes money. And our board ain't going to put up that money. We are in a very alarming situation right now. And I don't want to panic anyone. But I hope people really take on board what I say here. You know, I seen us sleepwalking into it the minute we decided to sell Harry Kane from this football club. I said 2 years ago, once you sell him, Son ain't going to be the player everyone thinks he is. He's going to show a decline over the next year or two. And if we don't invest adequately, we're heading towards a relegation battle. That was 2 years ago, despite Ange being nowhere near the job. So I hope people take my warning signs on what I've just said there. It doesn't matter what way we pivot. Right now, we are fucking snookered.
Thank you for the support for as long as you've been with us, Ian. And then Adrian Brown. Adrian, I've actually been meaning to text you, sir. So apologies on that, but thanks for not being too angry with me. Member for 15 months, fan show member. Adrian saying our attention is being deflected yet again with Anjou or Anjin agreements. The problem is Levy and co. 4 managers now should show you where the problem is.
This is what we've been trying to highlight, though, Jack, as well. You know, we've like people say what we've been saying has been excuses for Ange. It hasn't. And I've always said this. It's important to know what is the board's problem so we don't keep making these mistakes under managers. You know, at the end of the day, when everyone's asking the manager to adapt, it means you're asking him to cover up what the club didn't do for him in the summer. It's basically what it means. And we've been saying this. You know, you think Ange going is going to solve all the problems at Tottenham. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. It's why I said, Adrian, just earlier, maybe you caught that little bit where I said, even like I'm probably feel like we need to make some sort of change now just for the immediacy of needing to win games, needing to sort of give us some sort of hope of perhaps getting to a cup final of some kind, and also just trying to repair this season in whatever way we can. But it doesn't mean then for the long run that things are going to change or things are going to get any better. I actually would anticipate that the next manager in line would run into pretty much the exact same problems that Ange Postecoglou has had to run into, and I'm not sure if they would do any better. But it just feels like for the immediacy of right now, just for the next like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it just feels like we might need someone else in charge just to see if they can do any better. And that's the thing, right? You don't even know if they will, but just to see if they can, because it just doesn't feel like there's any hope or any sign that things are going to get better anytime soon. So that's where I am at with it, Adrian. But I'm in full agreement with you. It's not really an Ange thing with me. It's far more of a deeper issue with the board and how this club is run. It just when it comes to things that you can change and you can sort of change for the immediate fact, might just have to be the manager for now, but it's not like it's going to change everything, at
Like
all.
the thing is, and this is why it's not going to change anything, Jack. Under Conte, we were here, we were here every game and stuff. What were people saying? Sack Conte, the next guy will get better. Go and get this guy, go and get that guy. Things have got worse. So that narrative doesn't wash with me anymore. That sacking the manager, bringing the next guy, all of a sudden it's going to change. It's not. And that's why I keep saying to people, sacking the manager is the cheaper fix here every single time. Where's it getting us? Now, I'm not sitting here and saying off the basis that Ange should be in the job. We're at the point now where it's no return. He has to go regardless. But for the next manager, and I said this after Conte, for this guy coming in, we've got to demand a lot more from the board. We can't keep going to a manager. You need to adapt and cover up for what our mistakes in the transfer window, what Levy didn't do for you. That's all we're doing. That's all we're asking them to do. And second of all, I'm sick of this narrative that he wants these players. Look, let's get real here. We've got a director of football who, when he signed here, he said, "I'm working off the club's narrative." We pump money into a data-led scouting department, and I've still got people telling me he's picking these players. It's not happening. They are using the data-led scouting model to get these players in the door. They're going off that. It's nothing to do with the manager. So then, if we're signing players for the club, for the club's long-term future, which is why we've signed Hyuk, Gray, Bergval, players like that to come into this situation. That's why we signed them, because they're with a view of being here way longer than Ange Postecoglou. They're not signing for the manager, they're signing for the club. So if that's the case, stop bringing in managers like Postecoglou, Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, who are never going to change to what Tottenham wanted them to do because they've won everywhere else they've been.
Yeah.
Okay, albeit at different levels, I take that. But the reality is they've won everywhere else they've been, doing it their way. So when they come to a club like Tottenham, they're never going to adapt. They're like, what am I adapting to? Your loser ways? I don't think so. You brought me in here to bring my winning ways. Surely it's up to you to do what I want you to do. We're not doing that. So the only thing is, to a degree, they changed the job title under Pochettino from manager to head coach. Well, Ange Postecoglou is a manager. Jose Mourinho is a manager. Conte is a manager where they want involvement beyond just managing the squad. They want involvement in other decisions going on around the football club. They're managers. So stop doing that and bring in a guy that is known for adapting. He's known to be flexible. That's the approach you have to go going forward. You have to match your recruitment along with your manager. Hey, presto, you do that, you might actually just see the results. Or if you are going to bring in another guy that's steadfast in his philosophy, his belief, etc., do it his way. You'd be surprised if you can match things up, how quickly things can come together.
Adrian followed up Dave by saying the change that needs to happen is getting more players in this window.
But that has to happen regardless of the manager.
Yeah. Well, I think that's, the ideal scenario, but sadly it might have to
Needed to happen yesterday. Needed to happen 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Really appreciate your support, Adrian, man. And then Ed Sweden kind of bringing up a good comment here. And he's saying, today was mostly Ange. He refuses to grind out results, making us an easy opponent against struggling teams. Yet Ange hasn't been given the tools, but he has to compete today. Yes, Ange has not been given any tools, but he has to compete today. And that's kind of the thing that I think is quite fair, actually, about Ange, is that, yes, granted, what Davis just said is totally right. He's not a guy that should be asked to adapt, should be asked to adjust and do all these things to sort of suit us. He should be given the tools to win things in the same manner that he's done at all the other places that he's won. But when it has come to these kind of existential moments with Ange, like when he does just sort of need to grind out the result or just make the game nowhere near as easy for the opposition, basically, he doesn't seem to know how to do that, or he's reluctant to do that in sort of way.
Well, you've seen today.
Yeah,
He doesn't know how to do it, right?
Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Maybe you're right, Dave. Maybe if you want to push on it, maybe he doesn't. But regardless, he doesn't know how to do what Ed Sweeting has said there, which is in games when he's just needed to grind out results. I've said this to you, Dave. When there are times when he just needs a result, just needs to get over the line, doesn't need to be pretty. He doesn't do that often enough. He just doesn't.
Do you know what?
And there are a lot of managers that do, and maybe we forget that sometimes. There are a lot of managers that win games 1-0, 2-0. Even just look at Liverpool the other day against Brentford. Late, winner towards the end, right? And they hang in there, get winners at the end. No one's going to think about how ugly that might have been up until that point. They're going to think about the late winners, and Spurs just aren't that sort of team.
Look, 100%. Look, first of all, we're not sitting here advocating for Postecoglou. We're saying we need a change. Let's make that, well, I'm saying that. Let's make that clear. But it is important to highlight, what are club issues that need to be fixed for the benefit of Tottenham Hotspur going forward so that managers can succeed at this football club. But just on what you were saying there, Jack, look, that's like me sending you into China and you not knowing Chinese. How are you supposed to survive? The guy's never done it at a football club. He's never been in a position where he's had to sit in and make results happen. He's never been that guy. He's never has been. Even in a final at one stage, to win their version of the Champions League over that side of the world. He still didn't go pragmatic. He's not that guy. You're asking him to do something that is alien to him. Like I said, it's like sending you into China with not an ounce of Chinese language in your pocket. What how are you supposed to survive? How are you supposed to? It's alien to you,
Well, Dave, Spurs are becoming either more and more familiar or more alien. I'm not too sure because this football is just torrid and unrecognizable. Everybody, send in your fan cams, please. I'm be happy to upload those. I think we'll put out a Twitter reacts of some kind. It won't be positive. It may be some good dark humor from it, but I can't really make too many good promises on it being a banger. But please do watch it. Please do support us. Look out for a fan show tomorrow. Come on, air your frustrations, air your explanations. Whatever you feel like is going on that's wrong, or you feel like that maybe we've been saying that's wrong. If you disagree with anything we might have said or anything that might be going on in and around Tottenham Hotspur, certainly a lot. So come on, have your say. Make a debut as well. If you've been gifted a membership, come on, make your debut. We'll be there for it. Anything else I'm missing here, Dave? It's going to be another crazy week.
Jack, it's going to be another long week. It's going to be a big few days, It'd be very interesting to see what the board decide to do now. It's going to be very, very interesting. Look, next 24, 48 hours, I think we'll know what they're going to do with Postecoglou. We might even see you back here in an hour or two. You just don't know. You just do not know, guys. But look, like Jack said, if he doesn't get sacked, look out for people's fan cams. Tomorrow, it's all about you guys. Come on, share your opinion with us. Like Jack said, if you disagree, come on, say why, state your case. But let's do it in a respectful manner. Trying to make fools out of each other, name calling in this situation right now ain't going to make you feel better, me feel better, or, make the situation better. So let's do it in a respectful manner. And then Tuesday, we've got a massive debate show where I just want to pose the question to people. How much of the decline at Tottenham Hotspur is due to us not replacing Harry Kane and not having a replacement plan in for an aging son as well? Along with, a few other things. So make sure you stay tuned for that. If something does happen with Postecoglou's future, we will be back. We will go live. So just stay tuned, guys. Look, I'm just sick of losing games. I think it has come to a point. Sadly, I like Postecoglou. I like his approach to football. It's just not working out at Tottenham. And I think, you've got to wash hands with it. And I think it's come to an end. But guys, I'm off to have a Sunday dinner. I'd really hope they save the sack until tomorrow so I can just forget about football for the evening. But let's wait and see. I actually get to the point. I don't even know what to say to you because I don't even enjoy football anymore. I just don't enjoy watching this shit. It's not even football. It's like a foreign sport that I've never seen before.
No, we haven't watched football. We haven't watched football for over 300 minutes, it feels like, at this stage. Looks like as we're wrapping up, it's kind of funny. Maybe it's like a mistake or something from YouTube, but I think it's Aoz for Left gifted himself a membership or themselves a membership. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Come on, have your say. Fan show tomorrow, everybody. Look out for it. as well. Send in your fan cams, put in a post about that in the community section, all the instructions. If
I've
you've
just
been
done that, yeah.
wanted to do that, thank you very much, Dave. Appreciate it. So follow the instructions. If you want to make your debut for fan cam, send those in. And yeah, everybody just look
By
out
the way,
for more and more explanations of the chaos in and around Tottenham Hotspur.
By the way, my DMs are open. If people's got my number, feel free to reach out. I need some therapy. Help me in my, this situation. I don't even know what the right path forward is, guys. So try and help me guide me towards that.
Yeah. We'll see you all tomorrow, everybody. And we'll see you all later. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Let's get through this.